Hey everyone, it's Gamer Kev. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and do this, the music theory that well, not theory. I don't know. It's just some observation I made about music, like when you call someplace and they put you on hold music. So for the longest time, there was this video or this um, game art school I've been wanting to go to. I'm set to start at the end of the month. I'm just not entirely sure. It's just not a hell yes, you know what I'm saying? I've been kind of like about it for a while. It just never seems like it's the right time, but it's mostly just because I'm always a breath away from. No, that's not true. It just seems like I'm always in a financial strait of some kind. So, um, but whenever I would call this school, whenever I was really jazzed about going and I was calling them and I was so sure I was going to move down there and go because I had some moving money, um, then I would get this hold music, and it's that one, and I'm sure you've all heard it because like so many people use it. I have no idea where they buy it from, but it's the one that's like doom, 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 bum, bum, ba-da, bum, bum, ba-dum. But it's like minor key, and it would make me, I was like about to make a huge life decision. And whenever I called in, I would get, like there's admissions you talk to and you got past them and you would always talk to the operator. Then they would pass you on to admissions if you needed to go there. Then they would pass you on to financial aid if you had decided and set your date and stuff. And then as far as getting scholarship and on and on, you'd reach out to your enrollment team, etc. So I would hear this music quite a lot when I was on hold, and it would make me really nervous and like sick to my stomach. And I think mostly it was a big decision, but also minor key music just doesn't help. That music makes me want to like puke sometimes. My own university that I work out, like they actually adopted this hold music too, and for a while that was like a nightmare. But now I'm kind of used to it. But also, I talked to my past coworker Karen. She's a friend of mine now, but she was like, you know how I like tend to, because she doesn't mind the music, and I was like, how is that possible? You don't mind this music? And she's like, you know how I kind of nod my head to music, and so if you see her, it's fun because she's like when she nods her head to something, she's like. Mm, 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 da, 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 da. So if I just like picture her doing this Night at the Roxbury head nod, it makes me feel like happy almost. But it's kind of like, and then also I used to work in a school, an arts and science department of my university, and I would get parents calling in all the time. I'd get students calling in all the time, other offices and staff and other faculty. So, or faculty and other staff. And so I would have to put people on hold sometimes, but they would put me on hold as well. Like the registrar's office would put me on hold when I was calling on behalf of a student. So I'm sitting there with the student, and I would understand how they would be irate being passed around, from office to office, and to get run around if that office doesn't have the right answer. So I would be the person to try to find them the right answer. And oftentimes parents would call in with their student and want information. Anyway, like they'd want information about their student, but their student's of age, so I couldn't tell them. But yeah, like once you get put on hold a number of times, like it's really infuriating. But like that, I can infuriating. Yes. But yeah, I got to the point where I called in and I was going to be a student for a second, or I was calling for information, and then their music was like bum ba dum bum 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 ba da 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 dum bum ba da dum bum bum bum, and it was pretty much, and it like went off into more major like thoughtful dreamy things, and it was piano, and it was really actually pretty sedating. So like if I called or if someone called and they were angry and I had to put them on hold and then I'd come back, like that music could totally lull them into not being so angry anymore, which is it's a great idea. But yeah, if you give people that minor hold music, I think it's just going to make them, I don't know, gloomy or doomed, or I don't know, whatever you think. I'd get depressed, but I would be I'd probably hang up. So that's my little theory on that. I think you should pick your hold music very carefully, depending on how you want your audio. And honestly, they should do studies on it before they bother releasing it to the public. Minor key music, you gotta be like, never choose that for a hospital, for one, or any sort of healthcare, like major healthcare issues, organization that deals with those. But yeah, there should be test audiences if there aren't already. I'm sure that there are, but whoever let that one song pass, they really should think carefully about it. Okay, yeah, that's everything I had to say about that. Okay, thank you for watching. I just thought of another awesome Karen head bob. So whenever she was listening, for some reason in the summertime, people get this kick, and she's one of them. They would get this kick to listen to their Christmas music, or even like a couple of months before Christmas, because she just loved it so much. But when Jingle Bells was on one time, it was like a jazzy Jingle Bells, like faster than normal. And I came around the corner into her cubicle, and she was like looking at me. She was like listening, and she was like, it was like jingle bells, and she was just like sitting there listening to me, and I was like trying to talk to her, but it was really it was really fun, and I just love that about her. I think back on it all the time and laugh. Yeah, I'll have to call her and see how she's doing.